So here we have a more involved law of exponent question, and it's really important that you remember to use your order of operations when you start doing problems this involved. So we have here parentheses x cubed over z cubed, close parentheses, parentheses 2x to the negative 1, y squared over z to the negative 3, close parentheses, cubed. So our order of operations tells us we want to look at evaluating groups first. In the first set of parentheses, we have nothing we need to simplify. In the second set of parentheses, we don't have anything we need to simplify either. If you wanted to take reciprocals of things that have negative exponents, you could do that if that's your preference. Most students don't do that, so I'm not going to do that here. So then the next part is evaluating exponents, and that means distributing this exponent of 3 outside of parentheses across the multiplication in the numerator and into the denominator. So essentially we're going to have 2 cubed and x to the negative 1 cubed. So we have negative 1 times 3, and y squared cubed, or y to the second times 3, over z to the negative 3 cubed, or negative 3 times 3. So if we simplify that, 2 cubed, remember that is 2 times 2 times 2. So we get 8. And then we have x to the negative 3, y to the 6, divided by z to the negative 9. All right, bring down that first fraction. So we're multiplying by x cubed over z cubed. All right, notice how I did not put that first fraction in parentheses. The parentheses was there to show multiplication, and I showed multiplication using this dot. All right, so now we have multiplication and division next. So I'm going to multiplying the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. So I'm going to rewrite this by reordering my factors. So I'm going to have 8, then I'll put my x cubed, and then x to the negative 3, and then y to the 6. That's my numerator. And my denominator, I'll combine them. I have z cubed and z to the negative 9. And so now I can see here when we're multiplying, remember you want to add your exponents. So that means I have 8 and then x to the 3 plus the negative 3, y to the 6 over, in the denominator I have z to the 3 plus the negative 9. All right, so that leaves us with 8 x to the 0, y to the 6, divided by z to the negative 6. All right, finish simplifying. So x to the 0, we know that's equal to 1. And then we want to take z to the negative 6 that's in the denominator across the fraction bar so that we can write our answer with all positive exponents. So we're left with 8. We don't need to put the times 1, y to the 6, z to the 6. It's not necessary to put over 1, so we leave our answer just like that, and we're done. All right, let's try another one. So we have parentheses x z cubed, close parentheses, parentheses, negative 3x to the 4th u cubed z, close parentheses, to the negative 3 power. So pause the video, go ahead and try this on your own, and then check your work with what I do next. All right, so if we're using our order of operations, you want to simplify inside of the parentheses first, and we can see in the first group, there's nothing to simplify. In the second group, there's nothing to simplify. We don't have any other groups. So now we go to exponents next, which means that -3 outside of parentheses, we want to distribute that over the multiplication in this second set of parentheses, not the first, only the second. And so essentially what we're saying is we have -3 to the power of -3, and then x to the 4th to the power of -3. So that's 4 times -3, and u cubed to the power of -3. So u to the 3rd power times -3, and then z to the 1st power times the -3. All right. So when we have a power to a power, you remember you multiply your exponents. All right, let's simplify this a little bit. So -3 in parentheses to the -3, I'm going to leave like that. X to the -12, u to the -9, z to the -3. And then bring down that first product where we had xz cubed times our previous work. Okay, notice again, I did not put the parentheses around xz cubed because I used the dot to represent multiplication. All right, so now we have multiplication next. And so I can see that I can multiply my x factors and my z factors, which means I'm going to add my exponents. So I'm going to just rewrite the -3 to the -3 power and then show x. That first x is to the 1st power, and then I'm adding to it -12. And then z to the 3rd power, I'm adding to that -3, and then u to the -9 does not have anything to simplify with. So if I simplify that addition, bring down my -3 to the -3 again, I have x to the -11 times z to the 0 power times u to the -9. All right, so we remember that z to the 0 equals 1. And I'm going to put this over 1 because now we know that everything that has a negative exponent, we are going to take across the fraction bar into the denominator so that we can write our answer with a positive exponent. So we have here 1 in the numerator, and then in the denominator we have parentheses around -3, close parentheses, cubed, times x to the +11 times u to the +9th power. And we can simplify this one more step because -3 in parentheses, outside parentheses, cubed is equal to -3 times -3 times -3, which equals -27. So our answer is going to be -1/27 x to the 11th u to the 9th.